A lot can change in just 6 months after moving into a new home. Clutter piles up, spaces evolve, and those "I'll get to it later" projects start calling your name. In this special 3-hour marathon video, we're tackling a lot of cleaning in all seasons, organizing, decluttering, and some home updates that we've accomplished so far. These past 6 videos, all compiled into one long marathon video, are some of my more popular and very inspiring past videos. Watch as my home transforms over time, and be sure to get any new inspiring ideas or some ideas you may have missed if you've seen a few of these videos already. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Michelle, a busy mom of 3 little ones, all under the age of 7. In this season of life is beautifully chaotic, and while I love having a clean and organized home, I know how much work it takes to keep up with it all. My goal here is to inspire and motivate you with my point of view of real life cleaning, organizing, and all of our home updates. Creating a home you love should feel doable and not overwhelming. So you're in it for the long haul. Grab a cup of coffee, get cozy, and let's do this together. The kids are finally going back to school, and the first week is usually the most chaotic. I usually do a few things that help our mornings go a little bit smoother. I'll share them with y'all today and also get the house back together. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Michelle. We recently moved into this new home, and I have been doing so much unpacking, organizing, and getting rooms together that I haven't done a cleaning video in such a long time. Now, if you haven't ever watched a cleaning video, then you may be wondering, what is a cleaning video? Well, I believe that cleaning can be contagious. So not only can it get you up and going, but I like to share fun, inspiring messages throughout my videos, and y'all, today's message is so good. But since we've had a fresh start with moving, I've tried to keep up with the house and not let it get so trashed before trying to clean it again. But here's some bits of what we're working with today. I'm gonna reorganize the mud room, I'm gonna reorganize the kids' closets, and then we're gonna start in the kitchen.
I've been trying my best for a while, trying to please everyone who's around me. I've been putting on my fake smile, even though I'm wasting time. I don't want to be trapped in a box, trying to be like the rest when I'm not. I just wanna go my own way, gonna let the past burn down, cause honestly don't wanna be stuck in boring conversations with you. I'm gonna leave it all behind, find myself, I'm gonna start over new. Yeah, I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now.
So I hope that all of y'all have been having an amazing week. We did survive our first week of school. Our kids are loving it. Savannah, who recently broke her arm, y'all, she had one of the worst breaks ever. She fell off the back of a bounce house. She had pins in her arm. I'm actually going to go and take those x-rays to her memory box, I guess you can call it. I created these little memory boxes for each kid. So throughout the year, I can just put in like special papers and just like important things that I want to hang on to, so that when she gets older, you know, we can go through them and see how she's changed throughout the years. But I've taken everything out of this cabinet. We did not have childproof locks on them, and Rye is 2 years old, and he saw me grab something. He doesn't really like go into cabinets, but he did see me grab some cleaner out of there to wash the fruit off, and then he discovered that there are things that are down there that he can squirt. So obviously I don't want him getting in there. So we just took everything out. I had it on the counter for a couple of days, and then I had Chris put the childproof locks on there. So now I'm just putting everything back down. But again, if you're new, I have a first grader, Sailor. I have a kindergartner, Savannah, and then a 2-year-old, Rye. So if your kiddos started back to school, just let me know what grade you're in. I know that it's going to be an exciting year for everyone this year. So back to school usually means that fall is also started. Now, leave me a comment below. Do you decorate for fall? I know that before I started YouTube, I did not decorate. I would buy like a couple branches or like maybe like a pumpkin wreath or something here and there. I didn't go all out until I actually started my channel, and people are like, oh, I like the way you decorate. So then it motivated me to decorate more and more. But August is the hottest month in Texas where I am, and it is so hard to like pull fall stuff out because fall to me is very cool and cozy, and I know in other regions it's starting to cool down. It is just so stinking hot that it's hard for me to do fall early. I am going to try though and do like early September, try and get some fall stuff out. But for Christmas, I usually try to do a little bit earlier, more so than fall. But for Christmas, a lot of y'all have found me through my Christmas decorating videos throughout the years. And I will hint that I am keeping my big tree. I think I have found the perfect spot for it. But that's all of the hints I'm going to give away. But another exciting announcement coming this fall is my behind the camera YouTube mini course. Everything you need to know about starting and posting your very first video on YouTube. Now, this is specifically for all of my creators who have reached out wanting to start a YouTube channel, but don't know where to start. So you typically see so much of what goes on in front of the camera, and you never see what goes on behind the camera. So this behind the camera kickstart mini course is going to be available in the fall. I'm so excited about it. If you want to know when it first launches, then go ahead and join my email list down below and you will get the first announcement. I always say it's never too late to start a side hustle and chase your dreams. But let's go ahead and finish up in the kitchen.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way.
So because it's back to school, I thought it was appropriate to show these cute little canvases that I got from Smallwoods in today's video. So I ordered them a couple of weeks ago, and I actually tried to use them in our movie room when I posted that video last week, and I was kind of playing around with them, but they're so cute and they're affordable. So I have a friend who has a ton of these Smallwoods, so I went online and although these are Christmas pictures, I don't have tons of cute pictures of my kids. I need to get better at taking like professional photos. So these are kind of Christmas photos from last year. But when I ordered this one kind of came apart. So I'm trying to kind of pin it back together, but the other two didn't come apart. But anyway, you can pick like the color, and then you can pick the style, you can pick the size, you can pick the matting, and I think these are the 20 by 30 size. And I played with them in a couple different spots, and I decided that I thought they would look really good in the entryway. Now, I don't know if you can order different pictures and just change them out, but I feel like they were pretty affordable enough to where if I needed to change the photos, then I would just order a couple more. And the more you ordered, the more discounted it was. So like it was cheaper because I got 3 instead of just 1, if that makes any sense. But I love the way that they turned out in this space. So we have tons of laundry to catch up on today. But I was listening to this, I don't remember actually if it was a podcast or a video or something. And it was several years ago. And one part of that video or message stuck out on me so much. And I was thinking about it this week. Mainly thinking about like your kids and now that they're growing up and like, what are they going to be like when they're older? So this specific thing popped into my head. And I feel like I need to share a little bit about it. So it was an interview between Tony Robbins and Oprah. And I don't exactly remember what the subject was. I just remember a small portion of it. And one of them said that you know who you're going to be or what you want to do in your life by the time you're 10 to 12 years old. It was something around that early age. And immediately I'm thinking to myself, I'm in my 30s and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So anyway, I remember thinking, okay, what did I want to be when I was like 10 to 12 years old? And I immediately knew exactly what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a movie star. I remember wanting to be rich because we didn't grow up with a ton of money. We weren't unfortunate, but then I was also second born. I wanted a lot of attention. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember wanting to be a movie star. And yeah, that's not anything close to where I am now. And then immediately I'm like, whoa. I don't think without that conversation, I would have ever connected the dots that 20 plus years ago, I was a little girl wanting to be a movie star, and that several years later, I would have started creating content here on this platform. Now, what I think is interesting is that we all have a purpose and we all have a drive to do something that is bigger and beyond ourselves. I 100% believe that we are all born with gifts, or if you want to call them skill sets. And we're constantly in battle with trying to lean into these skill sets or gifts or kind of lean out of those. Now, if you would have asked me what I wanted to be when I was 15, 16, 17, I still didn't know, but I was like, I should probably do something smart, like go and get a supply chain degree, which I ended up doing. I'm still getting pushed to do what I wanted to do when I was 10 years old. Now, not exactly the same. I have no desire to go be a Hollywood movie star or move to Hollywood or anything like that. But the question that I would ask you now is, what did you want to be when you were 10 or 12 years old? Maybe you're already thinking about that. And what traits do you have now that are similar to that person that you wanted to be when you were 10 or 12 years old? It may actually surprise you. Like, for example, I wanted to be a movie star, right? Now I have a channel. I had to face a lot of fears in order to get started, but some of the traits that I have is had to get in front of an audience, learn how to film, learn how to create. Not saying that when I did all of these things that it was super easy, but it felt right. We also found one of Chris's old books, and in it was like, what you're going to be when you grow up. And one of his he had like 3 different jobs. He was supposed to name his 3 top jobs, and it was his number 3rd job, I think it was, and he wanted to be a landscaper. And what's funny is, if you know any history about us, he did construction for a really long time. He's always loved yards and wanting to help, but he went in to work for an energy company. He, built his way up in this energy company for 10 years, and then about 2 years ago, he quit and went full-time into landscaping. It's like your gifts are always calling you no matter what direction you go. And I think the really cool thing is that you're never too old to lean into those gifts again. So Tony Robbins also says this: success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. It's like, what is it to have everything you want and it not fulfill you? So my question for you today is, one, are you fulfilled? If your answer is no, then I would ask you, well, are you using your gifts? If your answer is yes, you're using your gifts and you're not fulfilled, then maybe you're using them in the wrong way, in the wrong job, in the wrong time, season of life. But if your answer is no, you're not using your gifts, then how can you use your gifts? If you don't know what your gifts are, do the exercise I shared earlier. Find those traits, because chances are you knew what they were when you were 10 years old. And if you're scared to change, or you feel stuck, or you feel like you can't move forward, then find a bigger purpose. Chances are you will do something if it is bigger and beyond yourself. So just some food for thought today.
I feel like I've been here before, familiar with the view. This ain't nothing new. And every time that you walk through the door, I'm hit by the same old tide, blinded by the lights, and I'm going through changes, but it's easier with you. I'm going through changes, and so are you. I live for the moments when you're around me. I know you've got secrets, but I can't keep on, and we're fading in and out together. The view's wide open, stuck in the moment. The view's wide open, stuck in the moment.
So what I'm working on next here is I'm organizing the girls' closet. So I'm going to make it easy to create weekly outfits, and Sailor's closet is a lot smaller than Savannah's. So I'm going to move some of these tubs. Those tubs are like seasonal clothes, or like if they have special Christmas dresses or just seasonal outfits. So I'm going to move those tubs into Savannah's closet, and then I'm going to reorganize each of their closets so that every morning they have little cubbies, and they do have to wear uniforms. So I have their daily uniforms and every day of the week so that they can easily get up, get dressed themselves. I didn't really plan to use the 3-tiered cart as shoe racks, but I like that they don't take up a lot of space, and because their shoes are small still, I can fit a lot of shoes on there, and then eventually I can use them for other things if needed. These plastic ones came from the Container Store. They were the more affordable ones from the Container Store. They weren't the full name brand ones. And as I'm going through, there is a huge cricket. We have had a bug problem. Like, we back up to a big open area, so I'm not used to the amount of bugs and spiders and stuff that we've had. So they're just everywhere. Anyways, but I went in with my Cricut and I labeled, oh, there's a spider in her shoe too. I just can't. I do have pest control coming tomorrow, thankfully. But I labeled the drawers with my Cricut machine, but they also have a bunch of different options on Amazon where you can, like, they're more like hanging cubbies where you can do an outfit for each day. I used to have that, but after a while, the lower cubbies start to they almost start getting too heavy and they start expanding. I don't know. Maybe it was just the one I had. Anyway, it kind of broke. So that's why I just switched to the drawer option. But I know it's common. Probably most of y'all do that already, picking out their clothes. I didn't start doing it until Sailor started kindergarten. So it made a huge difference in our morning routine.
I've been dreaming about you. Every night I see you clear as day. It's just something about the way you make me feel, 'cause I I've been thinking about you and all the words that I'm gonna say the next time that I see your pretty face. 'Cause I can concentrate anytime you're beside me. Yeah, it's what you do to me. I can barely.
So we were just going through a box of some schoolwork from last year, and these are little filing cabinet boxes. I did get those boxes from the Container Store, and I got 3 boxes, and then I used my Cricut machine to write their names on each box. And these actually do have the built-in to actually hold file folders. And every year, I wouldn't say it's like super organized with like every age, but it's like, oh, your newborn stuff is in one folder, and then like, if I can remember, I don't remember the ages of all of them since I started it last year, but definitely there's a kindergarten folder. So I would just put special art or like special documents or anything special into each of their little file folders. But I have all of their outfits picked out for every day of the week, and that just, makes it easy for them to go in, grab their outfit, grab their shoes. They have a dirty clothes pile right there. And then I also picked up a bit in Sailor's room. And then next we'll move on and do the same thing for Savannah's room. Now her little cubby with her clothes, that little drawer is from IKEA. I used to have it in my office, and that kind of works well for her clothes.
I'm going out with you tonight. Are you close to here? I'm feeling down, I don't know why. No, it's so surreal. Think I want you here. Oh, 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 oh. I don't ask for much, no, I don't need that much, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Though I want your touch, baby, you're so high, stay. I don't mind a little crazy, but baby, you're so high, stay. We don't need to go on a fast. I need this night to last. So you are like me, wanna be free like a summer night. I'm feeling down, I don't know why. What an alibi. But I'm glad you're here. Oh, 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 oh. I don't ask for much, no, I don't need that much, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Though I want your touch, baby, you're so high, stay. I don't mind a little crazy, but baby, you're so high, stay. We don't need to go on a fast. I need this night to last. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Baby, you're so high, stay. I don't mind a little crazy, but baby, you're so high, stay. We don't need to go on a fast. I need this night to last. Baby, you're so high, stay. I don't mind a little crazy, but baby, you're so high, stay. We don't need to go on a fast. I need this night to last. Baby, you're so high, stay. We don't need to go on a fast. I need this night to last.
So what I changed here was just moving those bins into her closet because it's bigger. And then this little cubby set is from IKEA. So super easy to keep clothes in and organize. There's only 4 drawers. So for on the very bottom drawer, it is Thursday and Friday's outfit. And on Fridays, they're allowed to choose between a couple different shirts. So I have them in there, and then they can still choose which one they want on that day. Next, I'm in Rye's room, and he has a bunch of balloons because he just had his second birthday party, and the girls wanted to blow up all the balloons and surprise him in the morning, and he loved it. It was cute. But I'm moving this little cubby thing into his room so I can put some of the toys over there. Now, I do have one from IKEA, and I have one from Target, and I don't know which one is which, but to me, they felt like they're pretty much the same. But I'll start moving some of his toys over here. And then I may come and organize it and do pretty baskets. I don't know, maybe sometime later. But one of the most important things that we need to do is get this mudroom picked up. Now, we did not have a mudroom in our old house, so we would just throw the backpacks on the floor next to the door. So it's amazing to have this, but we need to keep it kind of picked up and organized so that they can just grab their backpacks and shoes in the morning. Now, I may add baskets later on to put in these spaces, and that way, you can just put your shoes in the basket so that they're not visible. But I kind of like having them visible, especially with the ages of our kids, because I don't know. I think it's just easier to find the shoes opposed to like digging through a basket and trying to find them. So I don't know. You guys let me know if it's too much or if it's easy or whatnot.
I was facing all the sunlight while our feet swung freely from the bridge. You asked if I'd save you, if you were crazy enough to take a swim. I tried to make you see that my shoulder is ready for you to lean on. So why do you still flee when you know that you are the one? I can tell that you've been through some kind of heartbreak. All I ever been with you is faithful like a blind girl's dog. Every time I give you love, you still look
So we had just kind of come back from our camping trip, which was a lot of fun. We weren't in a tent. We were in a cabin. I don't think I could do all these kids in a tent in the middle of August. It's very hot. But anyway, we had a lot of fun by the river, and it all turned out really good. So we did order pendant lights, and those big boxes are these pendant lights that are going to go above our kitchen. And whenever we went to install them, we noticed that we don't think that the light, the ceiling thing to hang them is secure enough to hold the pendant that we got. So we have to go in and get an electrician to come kind of figure out, either install it properly. We're kind of back and forth right now with, is it the builder that needs to come install them properly? Do we need to, whatever. So hopefully we can get some hardware on all of our kitchen cabinets and get our pendant lights installed once we get that figured out. We have made a lot of progress, so in the next couple of videos, I will have a living room makeover. I'll share all the details about our living room from the start of where we moved in to what it looks like now. Also, our patio, I'm waiting on a couple chairs, and then it should be just about almost done. And then I will also have some fall decor coming, like I mentioned before, and then I may throw in an extra, some cleaning videos in there too. But let me know what y'all want to see. More cleaning content, more home update content, more fall content, any specific things that stick out to you, leave me a comment and let me know.
though I admit it's cute, but there's too many disputes with you. Once and for all, just tell me how I can set you free. I need to know. I can tell that you've been through some kind of heartbreak. All I ever been with you is faithful like a blind girl. Every time I give you love, you still look so doubtful. I'm faithful like a blind girl's I'm faithful like
So this is our big slider window, and in here we have so many bugs. I had to get them to come out because there's a little piece in there where it was open, and they had to come in and install, it was called a duster, I think is what they called it, to block the hole of where that slider piece would come. It's right there. That's the little duster piece that was missing. So there was a hole right there, and there would just be so many bugs that would come. And I sprayed this with a lot of probably all these chemicals and whatever to get the bugs to die. So they'd come in there and then they would die, and then I would have to go and vacuum them all up. But now we have those dusters. So I've seen a huge improvement on the problem.
Something I can never be without, yeah. I'm in your command. Thought I was a man of my own, but it's been 2 years. I'm only a shadow of the good on me now. A breeze in my ear, 'cause you know I cannot see no to you. Feeling like home, but should it be like this? Locked up in your dome. You know I fight for you. But do I?
All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss all of the upcoming content. But also, don't forget to check out Thrive Market because you do get 30% off of your first order and a free gift. So click the link in my description box to check them out, and I will see y'all next week. Each week, little by little, we're slowly turning this house into a home. And in today's video, we are continuing the process. In today's video, I'll be sharing some new home updates and ideas. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter how nice your home is, there's always going to be cleaning that has to be done. So while sharing some new items that we got for the home, I'll also be sharing some cleaning motivation. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle, and I'm so glad to have you. But let's go ahead and jump right in. So does it ever seem like you spend so much time in the kitchen? Well, a new survey suggests that you spend more time in the kitchen than any other place in the home. And it says that the average American spends more than 1,000 hours a year in the kitchen. So we're going to be starting off by including the most comfortable kitchen mat in my kitchen. If we spend 1,000 hours in the kitchen per year, then it's definitely worth it to get something comfortable for your feet. I love how easy it is to clean. You can simply just wipe it up with soap, water, or all-purpose cleaner. But because I was so obsessed, I ended up getting some of the bath mats too. So we're gonna upgrade this room a bit and add something stylish and comfortable while we wash our hands in this half bath. Each of the bath mats come with this memory foam pad, which makes stepping on the bath mat extremely comfortable. It definitely adds style and comfort to this half bath. So lastly, we definitely need to elevate the primary bathroom. You know the saying, you don't know what you're missing until you have it? Well, I don't know if that's a saying, but these puny little mats that are not comfortable at all have got to go. But what better way to add a super comfortable bath mat? I got the Harper Gray mat in 21 by 58 inches. And I've been pretty obsessed with the checkered design, so I was so glad that they offered this option, which I think just looks amazing in the space. It's the right size, it's the right style, and it elevates the space so well. And when you mix function with beauty, it's just a win-win situation. So not only do they make standing mats, which you don't have to use those just in the kitchen, you can also use them in the laundry room. You can use them if you work from home underneath a standing desk. But they also make tumbling mats and play mats for your little one that likes to crawl all over the floor. Next, I'm going to work on cleaning up a bit. Since we moved in this house in June, I've really tried to stay on top of keeping up with all the cleaning and not waiting so long so that it ends up being so much at once. But we did just recently have a bunch of people over at our house, and the kids just kind of dumped out all of the bins. So I'm going to work on reorganizing the playroom a bit. But before I do that, I will get started in the kitchen.
So sick, so sick, so sick of love. So sick of I'm tired of always see the better in people or the things that matter. But I never could have thought the dagger in my bag, it was you. In the echoes of your lies, dear. Can you hear me harmonize every word that comes out? It almost got the best of me. But now I've gotten so sick, so sick, so sick of love. So sick, so sick, so sick of love. So sick, so sick, so sick of love. So sick of
So the fall season is coming, and actually next week I should have my fall decorating video. So if you're not subscribed already, then be sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you just get a notification that the video went live. But as much as I love fall, I don't think I'm quite ready to let go of summer. I feel like we had so much going on this summer with moving and juggling houses and Savannah breaking her arm, and I know that we say that with every season, and I feel like as we get older, we're just like, this season went by so fast, this year went by so fast. But I think because it's like there's so much going on that we just get too busy to stop and be in the present. I think September is kind of the last month before things ramp up for the end of the year. In October, we have all the fall festivals. November, we've got planning for Thanksgiving. And then, December obviously is just a lot going on. So use this month to just take a deep breath. I'm sure we've all kind of gotten back to school, gotten somewhat of a schedule going. And I feel like this is really the time to reset before we ramp up. But let me know in the comments if you are done with summer, ready for it to be over, ready for fall, or are you still hanging on to the last bit of summer? But another exciting announcement for September is that at the end of this month, I will be hosting a 5-day challenge on how to create and post your first YouTube video. For those of you who have been wanting to start a YouTube channel but have no idea where to start, well, this is the perfect challenge for you. But what you can do now is click on the link in my description to grab the free YouTube Power Kit, which will automatically put you on my email list where you will get notified when the challenge begins. Decorating my home, creating content, connecting with all of you has been a passion of mine, but helping all of you put your passion into practice is also a passion of mine. So if you keep getting pulled in the direction to get started, then I hope to have you there.
I was the girl all alone in the corner, drinking by herself on a Saturday night. You were the guy with your friends at the doorway, pretending that you had the time of your life. Had we met before?
So last week, if you saw, I posted my living room makeover video where what it looked like when we first moved in and all the progress that we've made transforming it. If you haven't seen that video, then you can go check it out. But one of the things I didn't change in our house was our couch. And a few years ago, I told this story, but I was cleaning the couch cushions and the corner couch piece, I lifted up and I saw mouse poop. At that time, we were having a mouse problem in our backyard because we would see like mouse poop underneath some of the furniture and stuff. So I was freaked out that one got in the house, and I was telling Chris and he didn't believe me. And I was like, we have some sort of mouse in our house. So after finally convincing him, he bought a mouse trap and put it underneath I think it was in the washing machine or in the laundry room somewhere. And after a couple of days, I would always get home first or wake up and I would be terrified. I wouldn't want to look and actually see it. So he had put one in the laundry room, one behind the couch, and I think one in the kitchen or something like that. And one day I went and I kind of like peeked and I saw a tail in the trap and I was like, no way, I'm out. And I was like, I told you there was one in the house. So after that, I shared that story on here. And then I asked y'all to share your stories about having mice or whatever. And you guys shared like some of the funniest stories. I mean, they're like horrific, but they're so funny. Like somebody had said that they were looking up at the ceiling fan and there was like a mouse sitting on the ceiling fan staring at them. I would freak out. And what comes to mind is like Ratatouille, because we've been watching that movie a lot recently, and like they're nice and stuff, but I don't know. But like every time I look up, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's up there? But anyway, when we moved in, one of the first thing our new neighbors had said to us was, oh, they're building the house next door to you. So the house next door to us is still being built. But she's like, whenever they started clearing off y'all's lot, we were getting a lot of field mice. And I was like, okay, well, we haven't seen any recently. And then, so then next to us now, they cleared that lot off. They're building the house. And I'm like, told Chris the other day, I was like, man, we lucked out. We really haven't gotten, like, we back up to a big greenery piece. So I'm expecting to see like all these wild, crazy animals. And the most wild animal that we've seen so far is a raccoon. And that's about it. And then I opened up the door to walk in the garage yesterday, and what do I see? A huge mouse just run across the garage and go straight under like we have like these cabinets in the garage. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Please do not crawl into the house, because these like mice I feel like they can get into like really tight spaces and get in. So now I'm kind of freaking out a bit. Also, we saw our first snake in the backyard. I was expecting to like move in and then like we would just look outside and there'd be snakes crawling around the grass, but that wasn't the case. So when we got our first snake, we were like, we finally got our first snake. And it ended up being, I Googled it, and it ended up being a rat snake. And then Chris was like moving some of the stuff, and he said that it was probably he saw a mouse underneath the playhouse. So I guess it was chasing a mouse, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it's like, be careful what you ask for sometimes, because like we wanted land and we wanted space and we wanted a bigger yard. And then with that comes, you guys know I've been talking about the huge spiders that we've had, these like big wolf spiders, and like all of the bugs and all of the, stuff that comes with that. Also, in our neighborhood, we have a lot of ponds, and we have alligators in those ponds. And somebody posted a picture the other day that one of the alligators got out and was just like walking down the sidewalk. And they called the police, and the police had to come and wrangle the alligator and get it back into the pond. It's just crazy. For all of y'all that live in Florida, I know that's normal, but it's not that normal here. So we've just been really enjoying nature over here. But if y'all have any funny animal stories in your home, then leave them in the comments below. I love reading about y'all's stories.
stuff away and check out for the day. There's no time to waste when it's 100 degrees. Burns under my feet. Won't you have a drink with me? We head into town, see what it's about. Barely need a shirt though the sun has almost set. Make the most of it. I know we will dance and sing. There's a heat wave. There's a heat wave rolling in. There's a heat wave, yeah. There's a party in the streets and the city's on fire.
I mentioned earlier that we had a big group of people over, which included like at least 15 or 20 kids. I feel like when you're in the season of life where you have a bunch of young kids, then the easiest thing to do is just go over to somebody's house, opposed to like trying to go somewhere when you're trying to like hang out with your friends and stuff on the weekends. We just pick someone's house to hang out at. And one of the reasons why we liked this house so much was because it had a big open space where I feel like we could host. But also at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like 25-year-olds and under here. It's definitely hard to keep everything organized. So although I've gotten better about having everyone kind of try to clean up after themselves before they go, with kids, a lot of the times you just throw everything into a basket, and I'm just coming back around and making sure that all of the things are in the right bins. With kids' toys, I've tried different things. I've tried like being really organized, and then I've tried, and I have been very unorganized, let's just say. So I feel like trying to find somewhere in the middle is what fits for me. So I only have about 3 or 4 containers where I want it to be organized. Like all of the mega tiles need to go into this box, right? I don't want them all over the place, disorganized. The ice creams go into a certain box, all the cars go into a certain box, and then I have a box where I have all of the like baby-ish toys, and then everything else is free game. Like everything on the left over there in those wooden boxes, I don't care what's in there. Like we can just throw whatever you want in there. That way it feels like there is some free reign, so that when you pick up, you can just throw it into, one of those baskets, but then there is some organization as well. I heard this saying the other day, and it said, the more you try and control a situation, then the more out of control you feel. And that really hit deep for me. I'm going to say it one more time. The more you try to control a situation, the more out of control you feel. I remember when I was younger, I worked for a family as a nanny while I was going to school, and wonderful family, and she had her house cleaned all the time, and I part of my job was to help keep the house clean. So I remember I always wanted to make sure I was doing a really good job so that it would be like perfect whenever she got home. And then when Chris and I got our very first house, I wanted everything to be perfect. So I started making sure everything was clean all the time. I didn't go to bed with a dirty dish in the sink. If somebody were to come over uninvited, there shouldn't be any dirt on the floor. Everything should look nice, neat, and perfect all the time. Then it started to become an issue. It started to become too much. Like, I wouldn't do things until all of that was done. I was worried what somebody would think if like the laundry wasn't done that day, or it started to like control more parts of my life. And you probably wouldn't know that from watching like some of my earlier videos, but whenever I had started to have kids, and if you're a mom or a parent, that it's a huge thing. Like, it's a huge change in your life. Like, as prepared as I thought I was just not prepared for everything that was to come. So I had to kind of become a little out of control and realize what matters and what doesn't. So I clean when I can, and I try not to give myself a hard time about it. Sometimes I could be better, but I mean, with 3 small kids, everything is out of control. No, I'm kidding. But what I'm saying is, it's okay to be in the middle and get done what you can. But the next thing we're going to do is I ordered this cabinet, and I wanted something to fill up this space, and the cabinet is getting delivered today. I thought about originally putting pictures on this wall, and I don't know, I decided that I wanted some sort of like a bar cabinet to go here, and I found the perfect one. It's actually not a bar cabinet, it's more of an office cabinet, and it is from Arhaus, and voila, it's beautiful. It is actually too beautiful for me to put alcohol in here. Like I said, I was going to make this a bar cabinet so that we wouldn't have like those types of drinks all over our kitchen counter, and I decided that I would just want to decorate it. Since it's actually like, I think it actually belongs in an office or something. I guess you can put it anywhere, but the bottom drawers are filing cabinets. So I figured whenever I decide on like buying an investment piece, I said this is another video that I think of 2 to 3 places in my house that I could put it in case I don't like it, because it costs a lot to ship back. So if I didn't like it here, it would go straight in my office, but I think that I'm loving it here. Let me know what you guys think. When they originally delivered it, the top piece was broken. So they just delivered the bottom piece, and I've had that bottom piece for like, I want to say over a week or so. So I had put some fall decor in there because I'm going to pull that out later and decorate this space, but that's why there's stuff in there already. And then they just delivered the second top piece that's not broken. So those drawers are for file folders. That's why there's those little rails in there to make a filing cabinet. But I'm going to try to decorate it a little bit here. I went to, for the first time in the longest time, I finally made it to Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, and Target. I've seen so many people posting all of these things, and I feel like I cannot get out of the house, and I am not brave enough to go shopping with 3 kids and enjoy myself. So I got a weekend one morning, and I went to Home Goods, and I got a couple pieces from Home Goods, including that horse. I don't ride horses. Somebody asked me if I was a horse rider. I've ridden a horse before, but I don't have a horse. I've never had a horse. I think they're just like such beautiful animals. So anyway, I have this little pot. What is that? A pot thing from, I think I got that from Hobby Lobby, because again, I was going to make this more of a decorative glass bar cabinet. And I just got a few things. I'm going to compare this to decorating like a bookshelf, and I feel like, to me, decorating bookshelves are so hard. So I picked out a couple things. These copper glasses are from Target, and then everything else is from Home Goods. So I'm going to play around a little bit with the decorating here. I'm not going to fill up this full cabinet because next week I'm going to pull out all of my fall decor, like I've been saying, and see if I can fill up this cabinet with fall and Christmas, and then probably back next in January, I will fill it up with like just normal stuff, non-seasonal decorating stuff.
I've been here before, familiar with the view. This ain't nothing new. And every time that you walk through the door, I'm hit by the same old side, blinded by the lights, and I'm going through changes, but it's easier with you. I'm going through changes.
My plan on either side of the cabinet is to hang a couple decorative pieces of art, or just, I don't know, pictures, and then have picture lights come over them. I'm not sure if I like those right there, but I'm just trying to get a feel if I would like it. If you guys have a better idea of what I can do on each side of the cabinet, or just leave it plain, blank, whatever, then let me know. Give me your ideas. So next, this is the girls' bathroom. So they share this bathroom area, and it's like a Jack and Jill bath. So it connects to both of their sink areas and their bedrooms. And we did this white decorative tile that goes all the way up to the ceiling. So floor to ceiling. I love it, but they do need a shower curtain in here. I have had this shower curtain liner for a long time. I brought it over and I realized that I don't have hooks for it. So last week in my living room decorating video, I had bought a bunch of hooks to hang the curtains, and those are just extra hooks. So I'm going to improvise a little bit and use these curtain rod hooks and hook them onto this shower curtain liner. If you see this liner, I need like actual hooks, and I just don't have them, and I just wanted to get this done. So that's what we're doing for now. But one thing that I learned several years ago, we were walking into a bunch of different model homes when we were buying our first house, and I was like, how did you get a shower curtain that was like, I don't know, it was like 100 inches long, because there was really tall ceilings. And I'm like, I keep looking, and all shower curtains seem to be a very standard length, and it looks really elevated, like making everything a lot more taller will elevate the space and make your space look tall and bigger. And they go, well, these aren't shower curtains. These are actually real curtains. So ever since then, I have used, if we had some sort of a shower that needed a shower curtain, I have used real curtains as the shower curtain. But you want to make sure, you have the liner so that your curtains don't get wet and destroyed. So also a month ago or so, I had put up some pink curtains in Sailor's room, and then I ended up taking those down. I don't know if you remember or saw that video. I took them down. They're pink velvet curtains that I had in our old house in the bedroom, but we pulled out her pink tuft velvet bed, and the pinks are two different pinks, so it bothered me. So anyway, I took down those pink curtains, and I just left these white curtains in her bedroom. So I decided that I was just gonna donate those curtains, because if I couldn't find a place for them. So I just went on Amazon. I bought this. It's a decorative, it looks really pretty in my opinion, decorative curtain rod, and I'm hanging those pink tall curtains as their shower curtain. So anyway, long story short, you can use regular curtains in your shower. Now in our old house, they were in like more of a guest bathroom, so I will keep you updated if these curtains get destroyed. But let's go ahead and hang them real quick and see what they look like.
Heading to Vegas in my blue striped car. She's riding shotgun and she looks like a star. Yeah, she's got the style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She says she likes it better when we go off-road. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. Gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me.
But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're not subscribed, then I would love for you to subscribe so you can see a lot more home updates and all the seasonal decorating that is coming. Wow, 2024 is coming to an end. Christmas is just around the corner, and what better way to end the year than to declutter some things? So if you're a mom with small kids, and hopefully this video will be inspiring, and if not, hopefully it will still inspire you. But I'm going to be working on the playroom, getting rid of some toys so that we can make room for some of the new things that Santa's going to bring. Then I'm headed over to my son's closet. I'm going to be going through all of his clothes, switching out the old with some of the new, giving and donating some of those clothes. And then I'm going to head over to my own closet and just doing a quick declutter in there as well. With all of the Christmas sales, let's be honest, I've gotten myself a few new things, so why not get rid of some of the old? I'm trying to get the hang of decluttering a lot more often, so if you're also wanting to clear out some new space for the new year, then this video is for you. But this is going to be my last new video for this year, and I'm so thankful and have so much to reflect back on. I said in last week's video that for the next year, my goal for 2025 was to focus on personal development and really do things that make me feel fulfilled and happy, which could also mean leaving some things behind. I'm starting in the playroom. I have to get it cleaned up first before I can start going through all of the toys. There were a bunch of kids here. They made a mess. Cleaning it up doesn't, the way that they clean up, let's just say, for example, by putting things in boxes and putting them in the corner, is not the same way that I clean up, or at least most of us clean up. So I'm going to try and get everything sorted, organized, and then I'm going to start going through things and tossing. But let me know in the comments if you have gone through any of your toys, or is this a common practice for you that before birthdays or like before Christmas, you do a big declutter to make room for new items, or do you have a specific goal for that?
Isn't this a good life? Sitting on the front porch, sipping on the rocks. Citrus in our beverages. Citrus in our beverages. Shown only the good sides. Always pretty smiles are covering our faces. You know it is all lies. You know it is all lies. On and on it goes. Round and round the rodeo. Breathing out air for a minute. Taking my time to begin with. On and on it goes.
Now, in case you're wondering, we still had toys in a box from whenever we moved. Now, we had, in case, you're new here, then welcome. I'm so glad to have you. My name is Michelle. I'm a mom of 3 kids, obviously, and we moved into this house about 6 months ago, and we had to move all of our stuff into a storage unit for a couple of months before we moved into this house. And that box is from our storage unit. We said that we would not hang on to the storage unit. We're going to get rid of everything. And 6 months later, we finally have emptied it out, and we've just slowly brought in stuff back in. Now that box must have been like way in a back corner, one of the items I packed a long time ago. So I didn't know there was any more toys. I thought it was mainly just like we still have a grill and like just some other random stuff, but this was the last box full of toys. And my goal here is to go through all of the baby stuff, because Rye, my son, is almost 2.5 years old now, and he's outgrown a lot of the baby stuff. So it'll be easier for me to get rid of that stuff, knowing that he doesn't really play with it, and I know that he's probably not going to play with it. I've done a lot of decluttering over the last, I want to say 2 years, and moving has really helped with that. There was no specific practice or like schedule that I was on where I would like get one item in and then take one item out. It was just like a lot of stuff everywhere, and I never really, decluttered actually in the past. How, it happens most of the time is similar to like our story as well, is that like when Chris and I got together, we bought a house and everything was a hand-me-down, and we really did not have a lot of items, right? We were just kind of gifted and accumulated items that people were getting rid of. And then when we were in that, house for 5 years, we moved into our previous house. If you've seen any of my old videos, that was our previous house. And I remember we had so many kitchen cabinets, and I go, we are never going to fill all of these cabinets. There's just no way we're going to have that much stuff. And then, like we had 3 kids in 5 years, and like everything, like we outgrew everything. But I wasn't in a regular practice of decluttering because we just didn't have like that much stuff to declutter, in my opinion. So whenever I started, doing cleaning videos and starting my, cleaning channel, I was like, I'm going to start, I see a lot of other people decluttering. I'm going to start doing some decluttering too. I knew it was like to the point where it was like, okay, I got to get rid of some of these clothes, or, but I just never did, because it was just not my normal habit or routine to just, get rid of stuff. So I would say like over the past year, I've started like consciously making decisions like, okay, we have too much stuff. You guys don't need this, saying no to a lot of things. I'm a shopper. I love shopping. And if I am going to shop, I guess that's the thing with decluttering too. I have this like a lot of mixed feelings about it. And I guess like even putting myself out here like this, there's a lot of other people who also have strong opinions about things. So I will take comments with a grain of salt, but really just kind of figure out what works best for me. As you should too. Like even if you're watching videos or even watching my videos and I'm doing a certain thing, like if it doesn't feel right to you, I'm not saying that this is like the only way and this is the right way, because with everything, there's not just one perfect way. It's like, what is the way that is going to help me sustain my goal or my, lifestyle, because we all are meant to be different, right? So we're all going to do things a little bit differently. And it's not because one person is right or wrong or does it better or worse. It's like, what is the way that is going to really work for me? So for me, honestly, I'm not on a specific schedule or routine or like it has to be this or that. It's like, okay, Christmas is coming. There may be an influx of toys. Let's kind of go through them. Or like, okay, I've gotten a lot of new clothes. I should probably go ahead and get rid of some stuff. And when I get to my closet, what I've learned is that it's easier for me to get rid of summer clothes in the winter and get rid of winter clothes in the summer, because I'm not wearing them. Whereas like in the winter, I'm like, I could wear that tomorrow. I could wear that, in a week. I could wear that going to this event. I could maybe wear that, especially things that I don't wear often. But in the summer, it's like I don't have an event to go to. I don't have a place to go to anytime soon. So I can get rid of it a lot easier. I've also, I wouldn't say studied, but I have kind of studied a lot on decluttering, because if I'm going to do it and I'm going to share about it, I want to inform everyone on what are the different ways to do it. I do have a video called Declutter the Fast Way, where I picked one space and then I would set a timer for 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to declutter everything I can in 30 minutes. And that takes off the pressure of having to make a decision, which is difficult for me. Like, I can't get rid of this because what if I need it for this? Or what if this person wants it? Or what if it's sentimental? Or what if I need to give it to this person? And I spend so much time trying to figure out what to do with it and if I really need it, than just letting it go, just getting rid of it. So that was helpful for me. But in that video, I researched 18 different ways to declutter, and I talk a lot about it. So that could be a video to check out if any of y'all are like struggling to declutter but want to and just don't know what way is the best way for you.
I'm going out with you tonight. Are you close to here? I'm feeling down, I don't know why. No, it's so surreal. Think I want you here. Oh, 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 oh. I don't ask for much, no, I don't need that much, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Though I want your touch. Baby, you're so high, stay. I don't mind a little crazy. But baby, you're so high, stay. We don't need to go on a fast. I need this night to last. So, you are like me, wanna be free like a summer night. I'm feeling down, I don't know why. What an alibi. But I'm glad you're here. Oh, 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 oh. I don't ask for much, no, I don't need that much, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Though I want your touch. Baby, you're so high, stay. I don't mind a little crazy. But baby,
Now, what I have found helpful is that if I can somehow organize or categorize it first, then I can see what I have, and then it makes it easier to declutter or throw away. If anything is broken or I have no idea where the other pieces are, it's an immediate trash item. So like in my case, markers with no caps, I'm sure I'm not even gonna test them, they're gone, you know. There are like questions you can ask, like, can I buy this? Replace it with under $20. I forgot who said that. Dana K. White, her channel, Clutterbug. I also follow her. She has an awesome way of helping with decluttering, where you decide what type of declutterer are you, and then she has different courses and strategies to help with that. Like you can ask questions like, can I replace this in under $20? And it's like, I can replace all this stuff in under $20, but do I want it or do I not want it? Do they play with it? I don't know. Now, I've done a ton of organizing videos, and I have just documented my process of organizing. I don't come in as like a professional organizer, but over like organizing some of my very, very sloppy spaces, what I've come to find is that I thought I had to like have it perfect, and because I would watch professional organizers, and it wasn't like they would say make it professional. I was just like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to make it look professional. And then I could never keep it up. I could never get everyone to put it in the right spot. Or even like myself, it takes a lot of time, in my opinion, to kind of like keep everything perfectly organized. So what I found with toys, and that is my declutter box, yay, and then I have a trash bag full of trash, and I'm glad to get at least a box out. But what I have found is that I don't need everything perfectly organized. I do need it to be semi-organized, but there is no point of having it perfect. Like, let me give you an example. We used to have a kids' play kitchen, and in that play kitchen, I bought little containers to put the play forks in, little containers to put the play spoons in, little containers to put the little teacups in. And it's like, oh my gosh, if I had to organize, it's just like they don't keep it that organized. So why am I worried about keeping, you would think that it's easier for them This is what I thought, or this may be true to some. It's easier for them if it is organized, but it's not easier for me. So I just have baskets, and as long as the toys are in the baskets, kind of organized, like I do have a ball basket and I do have like a doll basket, that's going to get not organized. But as long as it's like kind of away and in the right spot, then I have come to be okay with that. All of y'all with kids who have older kids have been constant reminders that it's not going to be this way forever. So just, enjoy it and take it day by day.
I told myself that maybe he ain't worth it. Too bad I hate advice. 'Cause out of sight and out of mind is perfect. It's so hard to decide. Oh, I know he got me good in his pocket. I know that I'm just a treat. Well, the taste is better. Oh, go on, chewing my bones out when he's done is spitting me out. I just can't help myself. One for the pain, no hesitation. Took us we can, nothing can save us, yeah. I just wanna be around you. I just wanna be.
All right, next I am moving on to clothes. This is Rye's room, my 2.5-year-old son's room, who I have so much clothes. Now, before you come after me, all of this was given to me. All of this was donated from my friends, my sister-in-law, everyone who had boys before me. They are like, oh, you have a boy. Here's all of their clothes. Here's all their clothes. I'm like up to like 5T right now, and he is 2 years old. So I have clothes until he's like 5 years old. And I have to tell people like, I have too many clothes. I don't need any more clothes. I'm at the age where all of my friends are done having kids. So everything is now like, we need to get rid of all of this stuff. So what I'm focusing on next, and before we moved, I did try and organize all of the bins like by size. So what I'm going to do now is a lot of these are short sleeve, summer clothes. So I'm going to try and go through, get rid of all of the summer clothes that will not fit him next summer. I will have a pile of some stuff that, you can kind of use for 2 summers. And then donate all of those clothes and then bring out all of the like 2T winter clothes. Now, speaking of clothes, I have 2 girls and 1 boy, and he, is my youngest if you're new here and didn't know. And oh my gosh, he is so stinking cute, but he is so weird about clothes. I'm like, you're a boy, why do you care about what you are wearing? Like, for example, he has to wear jeans and boots like almost every single day. He will not wear any other kind of shoe. It's like a struggle to get him out of jeans and boots to the point where that's what he wants to wear to bed. Like he'll go and take a bath at night and then he will get out of the bath and I'm like, here, do you want to wear these brand new, very soft, beautiful Christmas pajamas mommy got you? No, Astros. He wants to wear Astros t-shirts with jeans and boots like to bed. Like last night I had to be like, we have to take your boots off. They're not comfortable to sleep in. And he's finally like, okay. He'll even pick out like button-down shirts to go to bed in. I'm like, you are a fancy kid, but I promise you would be way more comfortable if you just wore pajamas. I don't know. It's funny, but it's like, okay, kid. But he like wants to dress like daddy all the time. So it's like if he wears jeans and boots, then he like becomes obsessed with jeans and boots too. So I don't know. The girls were never like that, but it's just funny.
Let me feel your love again. 'Cause I've been running round in circles screaming out your name. Take me to a different place. Just the 2 of us and we can stay up all night. Kissing under streetlights. Doing what we want to, doing what we need to do. Staying up all night, everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even
So in case you were wondering, I have all of these organizing bins to help keep things separated, and I guess you can just organized, but I feel like they work really good when you fold your clothes a certain way. So I have everything folded, I would say like KonMari style. If you're not familiar with what that is, there was a show on Netflix called Marie Kondo, and she has a folding method called like the KonMari style way of decluttering and organizing, and her show was really popular several years back, but you can always just like YouTube it and find how to organize, which is the way that I learned. And I didn't think that I'd be able to keep it up because it is kind of like a lot of different folds, but it does make the clothes so much easier to see what's there instead of it just being like stacked on top of each other, if that makes sense. So I did make the decision, if I'm going to have a lot of clothes for all of us, everyone in the family, then I want to be able to see what I have. So you can see how like the way that I fold it is not stacked on top of each other in the drawer, but in these bins, all kind of compiled together so that I can open the drawer, look and see exactly what is there, and then grab the one that I want or have them grab the shirt or whatever that they want. All of my bins are either from Amazon or IKEA. All the gray ones are from Amazon, and then all of the white ones are from IKEA. So anyway, 2024, wow, is almost over. And the biggest thing that I have learned when it comes to the new year is finding clarity in what you really want. And I kind of mean this for setting goals and jumpstarting your new year. Although I have heard that it's actually better to jumpstart your new goals on your birthday when you start a new year rather than when it is like the new year. But whatever, you can do both. But I will say the biggest game changer for me when I have like really, really good years, like just all around, I feel like I've had a lot of growth. I feel like the year overall has been good. Is when I intentionally set goals. And I used to like kind of roll my eyes on all of this goal setting, or my goals were just so vague. Like, I just want to make more money. And there would just be no intention or even clarity around how that was going to happen. In fact, I've sat in a room with people and just been like, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? And majority of people are like, I just don't know. Like, you want things, but you have no clarity on what it is you actually want. So the very first thing that I did when I started seeing like okay years, like back when I had like depressing years to like every year feels like it's just getting more and more fulfilled and meaningful, is that I became clear on what it is I actually wanted. It may have been like, I want to make this much more money. I want to get a new house, right? I want to have another kid. Like, these goals were like, that's not what I want for this year, right? But like in the past, it's like I was very clear on what it is that I wanted. So when you like write out your goals, it's really like writing out your like being clear on what it is that you want. Because sometimes in our head, we're just kind of like, yeah, I want to make more money and I want to whatever. And it's like, I want to make X amount of money. And then what is the intention behind it? For me, the reason why I have like monetary goals is because what is so important to me in life is spending time together, like quality time. And I feel like if there was more money in my life, then I could like disconnect and go on these trips, and that will give me like true quality time with, my family. So there's like so many different reasons of why you want something, and the whole purpose is to get super clear on what it is you want and why you even want it. I do have a free goal getter guide, and that goal getter guide, I think I took it off of some of my, that link off of some of my descriptions. I'm going to add it in this description below. It's completely free. And what is like really my intention behind when I created that was to not only write out your goals, was to break your goals out into like, what type of family goals do you want? How do you want to improve, your business goals and so forth? And not only that is like, what are the roadblocks that cause you like to not reach your goals? Because we all have blocks, whether they're mental blocks, like false beliefs of ourselves that we can't actually reach it. But writing that down like helps you get clear about when those blocks come up and then how to get over those. So this guide, my whole intention behind this wasn't just for you to just write out things you want. It's like to really dive deep into getting clear around it and then how to, break those false beliefs of reasons why you can't attain them. But anyway, I will add the link back down in this video so that if you don't already have it from like last year or the previous year, then you can get it. But I feel accomplished now that I have all of the clothes organized. There's my boxes that I'm decluttering, and now I can put everything nice and neat back in the drawers.
Being on my own, I could use someone to hold, and I've been trying to fill the void, but my bed is getting cold, 'cause I don't have you, I don't have us, at least not anymore. You said you had to go away, just to figure out who you are, and I'm in this empty house, with your pictures on my wall, but I don't have you, I don't have us, at least not anymore. Just waiting for love, waiting for love. Try to forget about you makes me restless. Waiting for love, waiting for love. I don't know what else I can do, it's hopeless to be holding on to you. I guess we forgot about the way we could sit and talk all night. We just let the good times pass and got caught up in our fights. I say I don't mind, but that's a lie. Thought we'd work it out. I've tried to let you go. Memories, they tend to stay. Doesn't matter anyway, 'cause it won't be you and me. Now I'm just waiting for love, waiting for love. Try to forget about you makes me restless. Waiting for love, waiting for love. I don't know what else I can do, it's hopeless too.
So lastly, I'm going to head over to my closet. I do have like scattered Christmas presents on the bottom there. So if you see boxes, that's because that is my hideout. That is my hiding spot. Let me know in the comments below, where is your Christmas hiding spot? I do have one in the attic. And the attic ladder was open, and it's a big present for Rai Rai. And Sailor's like, I know what you're getting him. And I'm like, how? She's like, I saw it when the ladder was open to the attic. And I was like, okay, well, just don't tell him, please, because it's like this tractor thing. So anyway, other gifts are underneath. So again, my biggest thing, like what I feel like I have found helpful, was that I will go through summer clothes in the wintertime, because there's no event or there's no time anytime soon that I'm going to be wearing these clothes. So it's easier for me to just be like, yep, probably not going to wear this, and go ahead and get rid of it now. I used to think that since I record everything that I needed to have these like mass decluttering. Like I need to get rid of like half of my clothes in order for people to like, I guess, appreciate the video or get something out of the video. But I find that my whole goal, right, getting clear on them, is that I'm just going to be going through things little at a time, and I feel more comfortable letting go a little bit slower and little by little than just like letting go of everything all at once. So anyway, I still feel like I accomplished a lot. Those are all my empty hangers of items I've gotten rid of.
We used to hang around town pretty late. I spent the week thinking about our next date. It was easier then, so much easier then. Or like that time I picked you up outside of school. You said, screw my dad, I make my own rules. It was easier then, so much easier then. Take me back to those easy summer days when we stopped at nothing, babe. nothing, baby. They couldn't take us, they couldn't change us, they couldn't catch us if they tried. Now we didn't care at all about winter or spring or fall.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And I wanted to ask if you guys wanted a Q&A or if you had like any questions, leave them for me in the comments, and maybe the next new video I do, which will be the first of the year, I will answer a few of those. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and holiday season, and I will see y'all with a brand new video in 2025.
Tell me why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long.
Happy New Year and welcome back. I feel like after the new year and in January, there are two types of people. Those who get the after Christmas blues and kind of look around their house, see all of the decor down and get a little bit down. Or you may be the second type of person who is fired up and ready and excited to start the new year. Leave me a comment down below. Which one are you? Now, I am a little mixture of both, and I feel like what really starts the new year is just getting your home ready and reset. So that is exactly what we are doing in today's video. And happy 2025 to everyone. After Christmas, my house got totally destroyed. We had so many events. We had a huge party. We had family over for Christmas. And by the end of the month, I was just exhausted. In fact, although we had so much fun, I think one of my goals for 2025 is honestly to say no to more stuff and relax more. But anyway, today we have so much to clean up. Let's go ahead and get started in the playroom. This happened after one of the big Christmas parties that we hosted. Chris went in here and he was like, it looks like the kids just literally took all of the boxes and just threw them in the air and then walked out. I'm like, yes, I know, but in this season of life, it's just almost expected. As much as I try to get things organized and have less toys and like try and manage everyone and everything, I realize that I'm just going to, this is just expected when you have a lot of kids over. I know a lot of people suggest different things, but I've realized that the less I try to control every little mess that goes on around the house, especially during a gathering, then the more fun I have. And then all of this is just expected. And it is fairly manageable to pick up, to be honest. It looks a lot worse than what it is, but I know where everything goes. So it's just kind of easy to pick up in like 15 to 20 minutes. But gosh, I feel like 2025 is really going to be such an amazing year. I know that it is super cliche for everyone to say that this time of year, but I can just feel it. Last year was crazy for us. Around this time is when we started. I just got this feeling that I wanted to move. And then that's when we started searching for houses. And then we stumbled upon this home, and it's been such a amazing experience. This year, I'm expecting a lot of big changes as well, but also a very reflective year, meaning I'm going to be focusing a lot on bettering myself. Now, I am a big fan of setting goals for the new year. In fact, I have a whole guide on how to set realistic goals. It doesn't necessarily have to be for the new year. I made it like mid-year one year, and it has been pretty popular already. Over 4,500 people have downloaded this goal getter guide. So if this is, and it's completely free. So if you are interested in it and you need something to help you track your goals, then I highly recommend it. I also put in like all different types of mental blocks that cause you to either stop your goal or not even begin starting your goal, and how to overcome those blocks. Only about 3% of the population actually writes down their goals, and studies do show that if when you write down your goals, they almost just become physical. They become real when you can actually write them, see them, look at them. It kind of helps keep that accountability. So, huge fan of goals. This year I did something a little bit different. Now, if you're not super big on going through this guide and writing all this stuff down, which I still recommend, but what I have also done in the past is you pick one word for the year and you make that word what you're going to focus on that whole year. Like, for example, you may pick the word growth, meaning that everything you do, you are going to try and grow, whether it's growing like learning wise, whether it's just growing as a person, growing mentally, growing your business, whatever your goal is, it would be all focused around that one word. The key is to really set your intention behind it. What do you really want to get out of it?
You had me at hello, 'cause where you go is where I go. I don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too.
You can ride out of the blue. I wanna do what you want to. We can leave and run away someday, someday. I've been saving you. You save me too. Yeah, I need it. Don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you. Yeah, so call me anytime that you need a favor. Call me anytime I can come and sit in you. Oh, oh. Call me anytime that you need a friend, and call me anytime.
So since this video, I have taken down the tree in the playroom, and next I'm moving on to the kitchen. We did host Christmas and I did clean up a lot already. So this is kind of the next day and I am drinking my coffee and getting ready to just do a big cleanup. I do start taking all of the Christmas stuff down. I do not film it anymore and do like a big Christmas take down all your Christmas decorations video. I did have somebody ask me if I was going to do that. And in the past, I used to do it. And I noticed that it just wasn't like as popular of a video topic. So last year, I did not film like a whole video of just taking down Christmas decor. I just filmed like bits and pieces. And it seemed to be a little bit more popular not doing it. But I also don't really have a special method of organizing the Christmas decor when I'm putting it away, or do I have a special method or like special bins and boxes? What I did this year was I bought a bunch of bit totes from Sam's Club. You can also get them at Walmart, and I just labeled them. And I knew that I had purchased a lot more Christmas decorations this year, so I would need more storage. So that is one thing I do. I buy the storage bins when I pretty much buy the decorations. So that way I'm not like scrambling at, after Christmas, trying to find a bunch of bins and totes. So I've done different things throughout the years, and I've also listened to a lot of different ways that people can organize their stuff. And what I have found best, or what I did this year, was that I'm just going to organize everything kind of either by category or by color. So I have all of my Christmas tree ornaments. I'm organizing those by color. So like all of the silver and gold bulbs go in one bin. All of my specialty ornaments go in one bin. And then all of my ribbon goes in one bin. And then like as far as categories, then I just have like all of the glass Christmas trees and like glass reindeer. That all goes into one bin. Now, I've also seen people organize their stuff based on the room. So like everything that goes in this cabinet is in one bin and everything that goes in the kitchen is in this one bin. That would be great, except I change it up every single year. For example, I may use the glass Christmas trees in the kitchen cabinets this year, and then next year I may put them on a console table or something. I kind of feel like I do have to mix and match and change everything up every year just because it's part of the way that I film and like the ideas that I have to have. Otherwise, that would be like a great idea as well. So nothing super special or like particular about the way that I do things. So that's also why I don't like do a whole organizing video on it, if that makes sense. But I do start taking down stuff the day after Christmas. I started doing that, like I would say 2 years ago. It wasn't something I always did. I always waited until after New Year's. But I decorate for Christmas probably earlier than most people. So my stuff is up, like all my Christmas decor is up like from the end of October. So I am kind of ready to like get a fresh start and get everything down. Also, the last 2 years, the weekend after New Year's, I am ready to like start projects. I don't want to spend my whole weekend taking stuff down. I'm like ready to start a new project. So hopefully the weekend, this weekend, we will be working on finishing up my office makeover video, or just my office in general, so we can like spend all weekend doing that. But let me know in the comments, what do y'all usually do the weekend after New Year's? Is that when you typically take down all of your Christmas decor? Do you just like relax after all of the Christmas and New Year's stuff? Or are you like me, kind of like, let's start a new project?
I pull into your driveway, it's a Saturday night. You look like $1,000,000 wearing that dress I like. You're smiling, but there's something missing in your eyes. Girl, I can tell that you have something on your mind. But I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems.
One of my big Christmas presents for the year was new pots and pans. Our pots and pans were so done, and even though I don't cook that much, that is on my top 5 list. So when I share what I'm hoping to accomplish this year, I do something called the top 5, and I kind of made it up. It probably exists somewhere in the world. Someone probably has already thought of it, but for me, I'm calling it the top 5. And one of my top 5 is to cook at least twice a week, and these pots and pans are going to help me out. My mom and stepdad got them for me, and I told her I needed some new ones, and she got this the green pan. She said that she like did a bunch of research. They're non-toxic, non-whatever. So anyway, that is what I got for my big Christmas present. So I'm excited to get them washed, everything washed, and get them put away so that we can start using them. And if you have heard of these pans or you like these pans, then let me know in the comments.
We are all about the good vibes. We are all about the good times. Dancing till it feels alright. All night, we're all about the good vibes. All about the good vibes. I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes, I know you're all about the good vibes. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good about the good vibes, all about the good vibes.
So like I said earlier, this year for 2025, I did something called my top 5. What I decided was I am going to write down the top 5 things that I want to do this year that will make the biggest impact on my year. So I'm going to share my top 5, and then I also encourage you to try this as well. My first thing is to try a new hobby. I have been saying that I want to either go try out tennis, go join a fitness membership club or something, or get into regular pickleball for the last year, and I never have. So Chris and I have actually played pickleball a handful of times, and it's one of the sporty things that we both like doing together. So our goal is to either pick one night a week or every other week where just us two either go with another couple and we try either doing pickleball or I join do tennis lessons. I think those are kind of the top 2, or yoga. Yoga is on my list too. So that is something that I'm really going to set an intention of doing a new hobby. My second thing on my top 5 is to journal. I have heard 2 people in the last 2 months talk to me about journaling, and I have never really been a big journal person. I keep a lot of things in my head, but I am going to really make an intention to journal out my thoughts, my ideas, my creativity, and then if I'm just feeling overly stressed, I feel like journaling will just help me kind of get it out there. I think that in the past, what I've struggled with is what to actually journal about, but there are so many good sites that you can search or just Google different journal prompts, and it will help you really think deeply and write down, what you are thinking about. So my number 3 on my top 5 list is holistic healing. And this includes, hold on, I wrote it down. Mind, body, and soul healing, and really focusing on healing from the inside out. So I'm going to be, eating a lot more holistic foods, hopefully, really setting intention, kind of goes into me trying to cook more and not either order foods or just make a frozen pizza or whatever when we're out of time. I talked a little bit about yoga. That's kind of one of the hobbies I want to do to help assist with that, is either join a yoga class and then do a lot more meditation, which all leads into my number 4, which is cook 2 times a week. And honestly, that sounds so simple, but that's the whole point of this. It doesn't have to be super, super hard things. It can be something so simple that can make a big impact. I don't cook a lot. Chris does majority of he grills. So I'll always go and get the vegetables, the meat or whatever, and then he usually throws something on the grill or we just do an easy meal. But I'm really going to set an intention to try to cook 2 times a week, healthy meals. And then last but not least is spending a lot more time and expanding my coaching program. So if you didn't know, I do have a coaching program where I teach you how to start, create, and monetize your own YouTube channel using the skills and gifts that you have. Being on here has truly been life-changing for me in all positive ways. I've had to face a lot of fears, a lot of doubts. I've had to figure out ways to make this work. I've had to figure out ways to be creative. I've had mentors, coaches, and I have met all of you guys, and I've also met a lot of dear friends. About a year ago, I started offering a coaching program to teach you how to do it too. In fact, in the next week, I'm doing a big launch. If you're not on my email list already, then click the link below and go ahead and get your free YouTube Power Kit. What that will do, that will put you on my email list, and then you will get notified when the launch is happening. But my top 5 for this year is to go ahead and start my second YouTube channel. I have had this plan for a long time, and I'm finally I'm talking about it now. But my second YouTube channel will be all about how to share your unique gifts here on YouTube and how to grow and create your own business using YouTube. So I hope to really, really get creative with that, create more offers, and just be more helpful with all of that overall. So that is my big top 5 list for 2025 that I feel like will have the biggest impact on my year. I encourage all of you to write down your top 5. If you want to share them in the comments below, then I would love to read them.
From my window, sun's coming up like the day before. You're like a stone on my pillow. I don't make a sound when I shut the door. You don't have to wake up yet. We can spend all day in bed. I'll put the TV in the room. We'll have a Netflix marathon. Kenny G saxophone. We'll order in a bunch of food. I'll put your favorite music on all the way baritone. Yeah. Shut the lights, go infrared. We can spend all day in bed. I get the wine and the corkscrew. You don't have to do one single thing. You don't know how much I want you. Just looking at you makes my whole world spin. You don't have to wake up yet. We can spend all day in bed. I'll put the TV in the room. We'll have a Netflix marathon. Kenny G saxophone. We'll order in a bunch of food. I'll put your favorite music on all the way baritone. Shut the lights, go infrared. We can spend all day in bed. I'll put the TV in the room. We'll have a Netflix marathon. Kenny G saxophone. We'll order in a bunch of food. I'll put your favorite music on all the way baritone. Shut the lights, go infrared. We can spend all day in bed.
After taking down a lot of our Christmas decorations, Chris and I both walked in the house and was like, wow, it looks really bare. Since we moved in, I had left a lot of the kitchen cabinets and everything empty because I knew I was going to be filling them up with Christmas decor. So when we take everything down, I remembered how empty it was. So in the next couple of weeks, I think I'm going to be making a couple trips to Home Goods and Hobby Lobby, and hopefully maybe I'll look on Etsy a little bit and see if I can fill in some of the cabinets and some of the shelves with some more neutral or winter decor. For this channel, I always said when I hit my big goal of my specific subscriber count, I would start doing more variety of videos. So would you guys be interested in a variety of kind of productive day in the life? Do you want me to stick just towards a lot of cleaning? I am going to be doing like DIY home projects, but I plan on just doing one of those once a month because these projects take a lot of time to do. So any specific ideas you want to see, please leave them in the comments below, and I am open to kind of expanding some of the topics that I do here on this channel.
Hold up just a minute. Been looking for some help just to find myself. Yeah. Been losing my focus like 1,000 times before. Can't take this anymore. 'Cause I've been looking for something to change thoughts into motion. Been waiting way too long. Yeah, waiting just for somebody to love and to surround me and to handle my emotions. I was out waiting for something, and if I close my eyes, it's all been a waste of time. I was out driving every mile, and now if I rewind.
All right, I got this Bona mop. Have y'all heard of this? It's like a Swifter, so it's not like electric or anything like that. You have to like squirt the water out, like push the button and squirt it, and then you mop it. I like it because it's just easy. I can like scrub a specific spot and I don't have to clean anything. I do love my wet vacs, but you do have to like rinse out the wet vacs and change out the water and everything like this. This is just like if my last minute like clean something really quick is this mop. So I do like it.
Waiting just for somebody to love and to surround me and to handle my emotion. I was out waiting for something, and if I close my eyes, it's all been a waste of time.
But happy new year to all of y'all. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope your new year has already started off with a bang, and I am so excited for this year, but I will see you next week. This is a long overdue deep cleaning video. So today I am going to be cleaning out the refrigerator, getting rid of all of my old food, and trying to prep for some healthier food. I'll be deep cleaning the living room couch by unzipping all of the couch cushions, cleaning inside of the couch, and also shampooing this rug. Getting the living room cleaned up a bit. I also have tons of laundry to do. Then over in our bedroom, our windowsills are completely disgusting and need a good deep clean. So if you're stuck inside from the cold weather and need some cleaning motivation, then today is your video. So as always, you can clean along with me or just hang out for some motivation. I also have some news to tell y'all, which is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I'll get into that story a little bit later. But as I get started today, real quick, I'll show y'all some up close footage of some of the areas that I'm going to be taking care of. I despise cleaning the couch. I have no idea what that is. It's probably it's something sticky from one of my kids. I'm going to attempt to get it out, and this is what I look at every day in all 4 of our windowsills in the bedroom. It is just gross. This is the outside of the window, but I can still like visibly see it. So I'm going to just take care of all of that today. Well, actually this video was shot over like a couple of days, but those are going to be my main focus areas. I'm going to start in the kitchen and go through our refrigerator. Like most people, I guess, right around the New Year time, one of my goals is to get healthier. Now, when I say healthier, I'm really trying to define what that means to me because it can be different for everyone, and I'm still trying to figure out what it is for me. Some people define healthy as like no processed food. Some people define healthy as just eating like whole foods or doing like the Whole30. I think that if you didn't know, like a really long time ago, or not that long ago, maybe 2017-ish, maybe it was 2016, I got personal training certified. I went through all of the fitness stuff. I was pretty into eating healthy-ish, but I also did a diet called macro counting. I've done like several different types of diets or experimented with a lot. The one that really, really worked for me was like macro counting. And if you're not familiar with that, it is tracking your macronutrients, which consist of your carbs, your fats, and your proteins. And then you kind of track how many a day you're getting. I did work with a coach and got like a set amount. So then each day, like depending on my goals, I would get a specific amount of those macronutrients, but I didn't necessarily have to like cut out sugar or cut out any types of foods. So a little bit similar to calorie counting, but you're actually going one step further and counting your macronutrients. So each of those macronutrients has like a different effect in the body. So it's just like one step further along with exercise. So it's also called like flexible dieting. So I basically was able to eat whatever I wanted. It was more like about portion controls and amounts. Now, fast forward to 2025, I loved that approach because it was very difficult for me to give up specific foods. So anyways, that is what worked great for me diet-wise. But I realized like even doing that is real effective. But it's not necessarily like healthy. You can make it healthy. And a lot of times you do lean towards healthier foods because you realize like I can eat all of this salad and get full off of it opposed to eating like one little piece of chocolate and then, So anyway, going like always kind of doing that. And I always stick to higher protein diets and lower carb diets. That's always also worked very well for me, especially in cutting fat. And sorry if that was a lot of information. I know people have asked me what I do, and it's like I can't just explain it in like 3 words. I have to like go into depth because anyways, it's all different for everyone. It really just depends on like your personal preference and what you're going to stick to. But now I'm thinking about cutting out specific foods, maybe like dairy, or even going and getting my blood work done to see if there's any types of food that I'm sensitive to. A couple of years ago, I did a food sensitivity test called My Body Health. It was at mybodyhealth.com. I shared my results with all of y'all. That was 2 years ago. And it actually did say I was sensitive to all dairy. And it said I was sensitive to like all alcohol. I was sensitive to like a lot of things that I didn't expect. And so I've kind of taken it with a grain of salt, but I did start cutting out like cheese and stuff, and I have noticed a difference. But anyway, that test was more of like a hair follicle test where you grab some pieces of your hair and then you stick it in this tube and then you send it off and then they give you like this analysis. But I think I do want to go and get like a blood test done just to see, and then make a decision based off of like maybe I should go completely dairy free and cut out all of those types of foods. And maybe I need to go gluten-free and cut out all of gluten. So it's like I'm just kind of need to experiment like what does healthy mean for me and how am I going to fit that into my, my overall well-being. Now, if I get into like diets are, I think it's difficult for people to stick to a diet. And when they say like you really need to have it's really a lifestyle change. That is true. I've done Whole30 a couple of times and it was so difficult for me. And Whole30 basically is like, you're basically eating whole foods, nutritious foods, limited sugar, no processed food. You have to make a lot of your own food. So it is like a big adjustment. And then the reason why I could never like fully stick to that as a lifestyle is just because there was so much. I feel like I couldn't go out to eat. So that was kind of a big change for me. But anyway, it's just really seeing like what works for you, what works for your body, what works for your lifestyle, and then how bad do you want that change. But anyway, if you're interested, I know I've had so many questions about just that. And I'm like, well, I don't really talk about my diet a lot. So thank you guys for letting me talk about it. So yeah. I really do want to get back to cooking more. I know one of my New Year's resolutions was to cook more. And I did say, like, I only cooked twice a week, or want to cook twice a week. And people are like, you only cook twice a week? I don't go out to eat 5 days a week and then cook twice a week. That's not what I meant. What I meant is that, like, I will just buy pre-seasoned chicken and throw it in the oven. Like, I don't consider that cooking, I guess you can say. Or Chris will, like, grill something. I mean, like, I don't, like, find recipes and, like, cook them every night, if that makes sense. But I do want to start doing that, and I want to start using more whole ingredients. But anyway, I will keep all of y'all updated. If you have anything that worked really well for you, like if you had to cut out gluten and it was like life-changing, or if you cut out dairy, or even if you didn't have a sensitivity to it, let me know your experience with any of your diet and lifestyle changes.
I'm out of reasons, I'm out of rhyme, but I'll only tell you that I'm out of time. I'm sick of love songs, I'm tired of this, and I wanna tell you straight just like it is. You're watching me like you want me, but you're still holding back, still holding back. Honestly, you're annoying me with the way that you keep playing. Show me your love like it is, and open my heart.
So next I am going to do some deep cleaning in the living room. We still have the couch that way. We weren't sure which way to turn it. We kind of liked having the window open or having more open space like near the window, but we do end up switching it back later on. But we are going to, or I am going to, take off all of the couch cushions, wash them. I dislike doing that because it is so hard to get them back on. But anyway, we're going to do that. And then I am going to pull out the shampooer and shampoo the rug. But speaking of working out, my favorite workouts are a combination of high intense interval training and weight training. So I will do like the rower for 15 minutes, and then I will do a weight workout for 15 minutes. So like 30 minutes about 4 times a week is really what I aim for. But I also told y'all that I have some news to share. Some of y'all might not even know this, but I, along with doing YouTube, or you may not know that YouTube has always been like a side gig for me, and I worked a corporate job. I was fully remote pretty much after COVID. I worked in the oil and gas industry for 15 years, and I was at this company for 13 and a half years. And at the end of December, I put in my 2 weeks notice after being there for over 13 years. And I decided to leave my corporate job. So what's really funny is that I kind of worked my way up from a long time ago. If you don't know my backstory, I basically went to I have always worked since I was like 14 years old. I was getting paid under the table working, and I worked throughout college. I went to school local, and I don't know what that is on the couch. I think it's a highlighter, but I paid my way through college, and I went to night school. So I worked 10-hour days, and then I would go to class from like maybe 7 to 10 p.m. probably twice a week. It was a little bit before online was a huge thing. There really wasn't like a ton of online type classes back when I was going to school. Makes me sound kind of old. But anyway, and then my goal was to get into a corporate job, and then get all the benefits and do the whole corporate life. I never talked about my job here, not a whole lot. I just felt like it was never relevant to like go into detail about my work, because this was like more of like a homemaking channel. So I would have people be like, how do you buy all this stuff when all you do is stay at home? And I'm like, well, actually I work a couple of jobs, and I'm drowning. So that was one of the big reasons, is that I was drowning in not only work, double work, all of my jobs, all of my kids. It was getting overwhelming. But really what's inspired my YouTube channel was the fact that I thought I was going to lose my job in 2020. And I was devastated because I was so dependent on my job, and I worked my way up and I loved my job, and people were just getting let go left and right. And I felt like I could just lose everything in just one quick decision. So I decided to kind of take control back of my life. I was getting depressed. I was just like a lot of us were in that time. And I decided to start a YouTube channel. I was like really, really terrified. And I just thought, what could I lose? Some of my biggest, concerns were like, what if people from my corporate work find out that I'm cleaning my house on YouTube? But then it's like, who cares? At the end of the day, who cares? So I actually never ever thought that I would be doing YouTube over corporate. That wasn't ever my intention in the beginning. It was always to help supplement. In case I were to lose my job, I would have a little bit of extra cash to get me through until I maybe got hired on a different job. So it's really interesting how things have changed. So I wouldn't say so quickly. I mean, that was back a few years ago, but how things have evolved and how my needs have evolved and my, lifestyle has evolved. So I have all of y'all to thank, but I gave this thing a shot in 2020, and I wouldn't say I was banking off of YouTube or anything like that, but I was really helping supplement. I had 2 small kids. They were both in daycare. I worked during the day, I filmed on the weekends, and by 2022-ish, that is when Chris quit his corporate job and to pursue his company. So he had a side business to begin with, and he wanted to go all in on that. So that is when we made the decision that it is best to go all in on that and give one thing up. I would have all the benefits, keep my corporate job, since mine was a little bit more laid back than his was more emergent, he was gone a lot. And then now when it came my turn, I was like, I don't think I could do it. But there were things that we had to figure out. There were things that I needed to give up to pursue what I really wanted. And that's what my decision came down to. Real quick, I'm using the Tinco what is this? Shampooer, and there's an attachment on it. So I'm using that to get off whatever is on the side of this. It's actually doing a really good job, thankfully. But long story short, it took me about a year to make really do it. I think the longer that you are at a job, and the thing is, I didn't hate my job either. So it was difficult. I was there for a long time. I was paid well, and ultimately I couldn't do it all. And that was where I was I'm going to have to release something so that I can bring in the new. And at the end of the day, I liked my corporate job, but it was not fulfilling. And I didn't, even though it was flexible, I didn't get the flexibility that I wanted with my kids. If I needed to drop them off, pick them up, go here. It wasn't I could just leave my computer and do all these things all the time. So having the freedom is a huge deal. And then just being able to be creative and do my own thing is amazing. It is scary, but it is so amazing. So what does that mean for y'all? It just means that there are more projects that I'm going to have time to do. But I am going to be dedicating a lot of time to my coaching program, where I basically teach you how to start a YouTube channel from scratch and how to grow and monetize it and give you the freedom that you've been wanting. We are doing a big launch this Monday, so make sure you're on my email list. If you haven't grabbed the free YouTube Power Kit down below, then go ahead and grab that. I also have some free training down below on how to get started. But that is my big news, and I guess my lesson for this is that this year should be all about releasing what no longer serves you. And although it is so difficult, and it was so difficult for me, it was This year, I knew that I was ready for just new beginnings. And although it's scary, I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that it was the right decision.
You know that I lie when I say that I'm fine, 'cause you know me like that. You know me better than anyone I know. And you know I need space, a little time for myself when I'm stressed and upset. You know me better than anyone I know. Darling, we have been to hell and back. That's how I know this is forever. All these years, every single tear, all the regrets and promises, all the ups, breakups, bumps in the road, we've been until we break. We keep crashing down, but baby, we got up. Yeah, look at us now. After all these years, yours and mine, it's you and I. It's you and I. You won't say it out loud, but I can tell you're not fine, 'cause I know you like that. I know you better than anyone you know. Yeah, I know exactly how you bottle things up inside, but you don't have to.
So I'm putting all of the couch cushions back on the couch. This is the hardest part because sometimes, like the couch cushions, I feel like they shrink a little bit every single time. So getting them to fit perfectly is like a pain. I'm usually sweating after I'm done doing all of this. But next week's video, I will be doing some more decorating around the house. I still have some Christmas stuff up. I know. I actually filmed this a little bit like closer to like the beginning of January, but I didn't finish like posting it until obviously now. So I do have my Christmas tree down. I saw when I was watching back, I was shampooing the rug and the tip of the Christmas tree was there, but I promise y'all, my Christmas stuff is down. My house was empty looking, and then my big thing was to decorate that black cabinet there in the back, and then the whole kitchen area, and then I do want to add some more indoor plants inside. So that is next week, where I will be decorating and refreshing the house. So if you're not subscribed already, then be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of those videos. Next, we're going to move on to my bedroom. So you can see like the view from the inside of my bedroom is that the windows just look dirty. It's not inside, but it's the outside part of the window looks disgusting. So that is what I'm going to work on next.
Heading to Vegas in my blue striped car. She's riding shotgun and she looks like a star. Yeah, she's got the style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She says she likes it better when we go off-road. Yeah. Worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. Gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to my heart.
Your sky is blue, I got the sun in my eyes. It can't get better than when she makes that smile. Yeah, she's got that style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She's turning up the volume on the radio. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. I'm gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to my heart. Ticket to my heart. Uno, dos, tres, yo.
So these past couple of days, we actually had our first snow day ever. Well, not ever, but at least since 2021, when we had like a big ice storm come through, and like it was a big deal because we lost power and it was freezing for several days. And a lot of people, unfortunately, like the pipes burst in their attics, their houses were flooded, and it was like 20 degrees. That was the big Texas snowstorm in 2021. I did video like the aftermath of that. Luckily, none of our pipes had bursted or anything, but it was just that we're just not as equipped for this type of weather. But luckily, we did not lose power these last couple of days, and we got a few inches of snow, and it was a lot of fun. I know for most of y'all are like, oh, it snows all the time. And it's just your regular winter, but in Texas, or at least in Houston area, we just don't get snow like at all. Maybe like we do every several years. So it's like pretty exciting as long as we don't lose power. But for us Southerners, it was quite exciting. I have some quick clips I'll show y'all in the next week or two. Or if you saw my Instagram the other day, we also made like 2 giant snowmen. So anyway, we just had a lot of fun.
I've been dreaming about you. Every night I see you clear as day. It's just something about the way you make me feel. 'Cause I can't concentrate anytime you're beside me. Yeah, it's what you do to me. I can barely breathe. Hey, I've been thinking about you, all the words that I'm gonna say the next time that I see your pretty face. 'Cause I can't concentrate anytime you're beside me. Yeah, it's what you do to me. I can barely breathe. It's what you do. I can see you in front of me. All I do is close my eyes, and you're just standing there with your perfect smile. All I do is close my eyes.
But thank you all so much for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, got some motivation out of it, and I will see y'all next week for a brand new video.
Every time that my mind slip, I just see my past life. Having dreams in a dream, I wonder why I can't.
It hardly snows here in Texas, but whenever it does, it is beyond magical. Now, for some reason, when the kids are home for those couple of snow days, the house gets super messy. So in today's video, it is my attempt to clean up this messy home. We'll first start in the kitchen, move on to the playroom and dining area. Then I'll move on to the living room. I will clean the glass and the outside table. I'll do some laundry, and then I'll finish up vacuuming and mopping. So if you need a boost to get started, then now is your time. Or if you're just here to hang out, then I'm glad to have you either way. Show y'all some before pictures of all of the snow and while it was snowing. That's Sailor, my oldest daughter, who immediately ran outside to make a snow angel right when we woke up this morning. I have a feeling that most of y'all, this is like totally normal for y'all, especially this time of year. You're like, it snows every day where I live. But I promise y'all here, it does not ever snow. We even made our own giant snowman, and he looks a little rough, but you know, it was a fun day. We had all of the neighbors out, and whenever all the kids would get cold, they would jump from house to house, and this is how the house got so dirty so fast, but all is good. Easy to clean up. Usually when I'm working in one area, then a whole nother area gets destroyed. That's just how it is, especially when you have young kids. You know, one thing that before you have a baby, nobody ever warns you about is how much your life is going to change just living in your house. I would always get the tips like, you're not going to sleep anymore, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do this. And it's like nobody ever said, your house is just going to be messy all the time. But I've gone through so many phases of just being like, you know, it is what it is, and also being like super frustrated. So anyway, today is one of those days where I was a combination of both, but I'm just going to start off with my morning coffee and get started. So this is a Jura coffee machine. I've never shared it before. I got it for Christmas one year, and it is this like super bougie machine that makes all sorts of fancy things. And I got it for Christmas. This lady talked me into it, and this was last year, and he's like, okay, well, I just want regular coffee. I'm like, you don't want an espresso or a latte or a da-da-da. He's like, no, I just want like coffee. So I just enjoy all of the other features. So while it was also cold, I made some crockpot enchilada soup and pizza rolls to keep the kids happy. So we are going to get started here.
Warm hands, but there's something cold in the way you are. The things you said had me going good, but it left a scar. You invite me and then you turn me down. Get my hopes up and then you're gone. I fall for every word that you say to me. So hard, being drawn to you so easily. I am stuck in a loop of chemicals. What's the point of this? But I don't wanna be alone. I keep looking at my phone, but you never call me. And then I see you on the street, said your heart just skipped a beat, and that you miss me. It's always the same story with you, but I just cannot refuse you. I'm sad after this time that I'm out, that you leave me with this rush. Why am I so curious? So curious, so curious. So curious, so curious.
So in my video from about 2 weeks ago, I talked to y'all about some of the health changes that I'm going to be making. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to change this year, if I wanted to eliminate food, if I didn't want to. And I decided to try out a gluten-free diet and also a low dairy diet. How I plan to make that work, basically, if I am buying any type of dairy product, if I can find an alternative to it, then I will try to opt for that instead. Like, instead of buying regular milk, I'm going to buy, almond milk. I used to do that all the time, and then I went back to regular milk with the kids, and now I'm going to see if I can go back to, almond milk. Reason being is I know everybody has all of their different reasons for doing things. I'm not gluten intolerant, but I'm going to see if it helps with my energy and also with inflammation. Dairy, I think that I am intolerant to it. In fact, I took a test. It was I've talked about it before, and it was back in 2023, and it was a food sensitivity test where you mail in, I think, like hair follicles, and it will come back and tell you potential sensitivities, moderate sensitivities, etc. And it did say that I was like very, very sensitive to all dairy, and then moderately sensitive to gluten. So ever since I got that test, I did try to cut back on dairy. It's hard just to go cold turkey when you love cheese so much, but I did notice differences in just like bloating and overall health. So my goal is to ultimately just eat better, eat less processed food for me and my kids, get my energy levels back up, and just really feel good. Now, sometimes it's hard to just like do something and hope that it's the right thing. So I am testing the waters with different things that work best for me. And then I'm going to, like, after about 30 days, I'll reassess. I would say that we are pretty naturally healthy, but I think that we could do better. And I used to be very, very specific about what I ate. And then over the last couple of years, especially with kids, I've gone more of a what's convenient than what would be better for our energy level, and like what are some better choices of food. So I'm not necessarily trying to find like what is the best 30-day diet. I am trying to find long-term lifestyle changes. So I'm going to see what makes me feel good, what doesn't make me feel good, what's going to help with my bloating, what are things I can eliminate. And a lot of that is done just through trial and error for me. So what's funny is, like, in the background, there's all of these apple juices and teas. Right before the winter hit, I'll tell you, I start planning out, like, okay, I'm going to switch this for that. And, instead of buying this, I'm going to buy that. And I had our H-E-B groceries delivered to us the day before the storm. They called to tell me, it's hectic, it's crazy. Everybody's trying to get their groceries orders in just in case, like, things shut down. And they came and they delivered it, and it is all the wrong groceries. And I'm like, this is not my order. So here I am trying to go like super healthy, and it's like donuts and apple juice and like just all chips, several bags of chips, like just all the food that I'm trying to like stay away from. And I call them, and I'm like, she had just dropped it off. And I'm like calling her. She's not answering. I'm texting the phone number. I'm like, please come pick these groceries up. They're not mine. And the lady finally texts back and just said, sorry, this is what they told me to deliver. So I call the store, and I'm like, I've been trying to like get these groceries. Like, these are not my groceries. I got all of these different groceries, and they ended up calling the store, and they were like, yeah, we tried to get a hold of that driver, and we told her that we accidentally put the wrong groceries in her car, and she said she was going to bring it back to the store, and I guess she never did. And then they were like, yeah, we tried to call her three or more times. She wouldn't answer. So what we're going to do is just give you, we will send another driver out to resend those groceries. It's been a hectic day. And I was like, okay, you can come take all these groceries. And they're like, no, we can't take those groceries back, so you can just keep them. So I gave a lot to my neighbors. I'm like, we are trying to avoid certain foods that came in this, this grocery bag. And then my kids are like, donuts, chips, yes, everything. But they ordered like bulk of everything, like 4 apple juice box. Like, they must have a lot of kids. I don't know. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying this is a lot. This is like a lot of stuff that they ordered. But anyway, I'm still grateful that we got our groceries in time. I'm grateful we got additional groceries that we could give to neighbors. We kept some, and then I'm glad that we didn't lose power or like nothing went wrong. I know a lot of y'all Instagram messaged me about where you live, where you got snow. Some people were from Louisiana. Some people were from other areas. If you got snow, let me know what area you were from, if you don't typically get snow. Or if you did get snow, how much did you get? Leave me a comment and let me know down below.
Let me feel your love again, 'cause I've been running round in circles screaming out your name. Take me to a different place, just the two of us, and we can stay up all night, kissing under streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night, everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be the someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you. All that time away from you, I didn't think I'd make it without you by my side. Let me feel your love again, just the two of us, and we could stay up all night, kissing under streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night, everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be the someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand.
All right, so I've been picking up the playroom / movie room, and I'm adjusting this rug. As I talk about the rug, I just can't help but notice that I've gotten a couple of comments on how much you dislike this rug and that I need to get a new rug, and you can't believe I still have this rug. So this is a brand new rug. I just got it like probably 3 months ago, and I do regret buying it. I'm not going to lie about that. I wish I did not buy a shag rug because stuff gets all stuck in there, and I do wish I would have went a little bit smaller because it gets like we have to adjust it all the time. I've had rug pads or rug, what are they called? Use the little sticky things you put under there to help the rug stay in place. I've tried that. I think the rug is just too big. I will eventually switch out the rug. It's just not like my number one priority because there's other places in my house I'm still trying to redo, like our office makeover, which that video should be done in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm waiting on a couple more decor pieces to come in, and then I will put it all together. And also, I don't know exactly what I want to replace it with. So until I have an alternative or replacement, then I'm just going to keep it in this room. I've also had suggestions to not have a rug in here. I do want a rug in here because 1, I like rugs, and 2, I want to protect the carpet. We don't have much carpet in our house, but the little carpet that we do have, like part of this carpet is already stained from, I have no idea. I don't know what these kids do. They, what is this? Cheese all over the couch. I think that my 2-year-old came in with a bowl of cheese and literally spilt it like in the couch. It's disgusting. But I can't control everything. So that's the other reason why I want to keep a rug in this room. But I am using my Dyson handheld vacuum because it was charged and I was using it to vacuum the rug. This vacuum is one of the older models and I actually got it at Sam's Club. I have a love-hate relationship with Dysons. I think they're the most powerful vacuums, which I love for like cordless vacuums, but the battery always goes out on me. Like it stops working and I can't charge it at all. I've had 2 other Dysons and I've had to buy replacement batteries just to even get it to be able to charge. And then after a while, those stopped working. So I switched brands for a while. And then when I saw it was on sale at Sam's, I bought it recently. So I've tested a lot of different vacuums, including handheld vacuums. And when people ask my opinion, I think it really just depends on like me asking you back is what is your main feature that you are wanting? Like for me, it's always suction power. I always like it in max power mode. But the things with like the ones that have the best suction power is that the battery doesn't last long. Like I'll get 15 minutes max with it on like max mode. This particular Dyson doesn't have a little light, and I like the little lights that some of the other vacuums do have. Most of the ones I have used have done a really good job. The only difference I can tell is that the less expensive the vacuum, the lower the suction power. So to me personally, I would opt for probably a little more expensive vacuum just to get that suction power. But again, it just depends on your needs and what you're looking for, what your price point is, a whole bunch of different factors. But we're done finally cleaning the movie room / playroom. We still have a little bit of snow outside, which looks really pretty. The kids have been playing in it for most of that day. But next, let's work on the living and dining room area.
Not used to this. I don't know how to act, don't know how to adapt to this situation. Not used to this, no I'm not. But better let myself give in to love, believe in us, no matter what it does to my heart. Not used to this, no I'm not. It was like if we were to waste these moments, they're like poets to me. You getting into my brain. I feel emotionally drained. You getting into my brain. You getting into my brain. You're new to me. I don't know who you are, be like a piece of art. I want more, but better slow it down. Inside my mind is getting all too loud, I get scared. Not used to this, not prepared. Not used to this, not prepared. Not prepared. It was like if we were to waste these moments, they're like poets to me. You getting into my brain. I feel emotionally drained. You getting into my brain. You getting into my brain.
So in my videos, I love to always share something motivating, and I'm trying to think in the past week or so, what has motivated me the most? And I think the first thing that came up in my head was trying something new. So I'll tell you a little bit about what I tried this week. The last couple of weeks, I have been sick. I had a virus, and then Chris got the flu. And then right when I was kind of on the mend, I got the stomach bug pretty bad. And then right after that, I think I'm on the mend, but I have a sinus infection. So I have been struggling to get out and try new things, but over the weekend, there was like this thing going on in our neighborhood, and it was like a wellness thing where a bunch of vendors came out, and I decided to go and give it a try. And I have a lot of like neighbor friends, and I told people I was going, and they're all like, well, then who are you going with? I'm like, I'm going with no one. I actually want to go by myself. I don't want to have to convince anyone to go with me. I don't want to have to feel bad forcing people to go with me. I just want to go and like see what it's about by myself, which is so uncommon these days. I feel like we all need someone to go with so we don't feel alone. But sometimes I like going to things alone, so it gives me the opportunity to like either feel uncomfortable, like not that that's a good thing, but just like meet people and not feel obligated to only talking to the person that I went with. Obviously, there's times I really want to like go with someone. It always depends on what it is, but I went to this health thing, and there was this stretch lab, and basically, if you've heard of it, they like stretch you out. What that means is they help you like into these weird positions where it gives you like an extremely deep stretch to help with like recovery if you work out a lot, or like just mobility. So I booked an introductory session, and this morning I went and did the introductory session. It was very interesting. They test your mobility a little bit, and then they just put you into these weird positions and see how basically flexible you are. Oh, here I'm just showing, I've been asked what laundry detergent I use. I've been using this Mrs. Meyer's scent, and then right now I'm using Tide because I went to the hardware store that's really close by, and that's all they had, and I was completely out, so that was like an urgent purchase. But I do like the Mrs. Meyer's detergent as well because I feel like it has a very strong scent, and I like that on my clothes. But anyway, going back to the stretching, it was very interesting. I did figure out that I was pretty flexible. I've done like dance and all that in the past. But if you've ever done it before, let me know in the comments. But the moral of that story is that, one, it's okay to do something alone. If it's something that you really want to do, but like your group of friends either doesn't want to do it or can't do it, don't skip out on the opportunity. And it's okay to try new things. But in order to try new things, you have to open up yourself to actually try them. You're not going to know what you truly like and don't like doing unless you try it. What is that saying? That the majority of people live the exact same life every single day. You get up, you brush your teeth, you eat your breakfast, you go to work, you come home, you make dinner, you go to bed, right? Like the most basic routine. And I'm not saying it's bad to have a routine. I'm not saying like there's anything wrong with that. But the most growth I've ever seen personally, the best I've ever felt about myself, the most accomplished I've ever felt is all from getting out of my comfort zone and trying something new all the time, almost every single day. And it could be as simple as trying a new recipe, or reading a new book instead of scrolling, or going on a walk every day, or something like starting the business you've always wanted to start, doing that DIY project. I know they say in business, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's where you'll see the biggest transformations. But next, I'm finishing up with my little Bona mop. I like this mop. I paid way too much money for it at the hardware store. I think you can get this on Amazon for cheaper. But it's not electric or anything. I literally just squirt the button, and it's like a Swiffer, but I like it a little bit more than a Swiffer because it feels a little more heavy duty. but I definitely like it for a quick clean.
Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds. Because without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground. You're lighting up the way, I can see the road ahead of me. I won't be stumbling in the dark. Your eyes are shining like the stars. I was down until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day. And I just wanted to say that you can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high. I can see the sun staring at you when you make that smile. I'm moving closer to you now. I can't get close enough somehow. And I was down until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day. And I just wanted to say that you can take me high.
So I spent all day cleaning. I was literally exhausted, but I'm glad to have it done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all next week.